How's it going, everyone? Bass here. It is Thursday, so it is time for yet another mock draft, and this is a mock draft a lot of you have been asking for. This is the 5th edition of my Green Bay Packers 7-round mock draft, but it is the first mock draft post the Davante Adams trade, where the Green Bay Packers traded Davante Adams and gained 2 more early draft picks, that first rounder and the second rounder from the Las Vegas Raiders, giving the Packers the 6th most draft capital this year and 4 picks within the first 60. So the needs have changed since my last mock draft last Thursday. Obviously, right now, wide receiver is need number 1. MVS actually just signed with Kansas City a 3-year, $30 million deal, so they gave him $10 million a year. I'm glad the Packers didn't pay that. Wide receiver is clearly need number 1 right now. They only have Allen Lazard, Randall Cobb, Amari Rodgers, and Malik Taylor, and Juwan Winfrey on the roster. So drafting 2 wide receivers in this draft is a must, and then potentially outside of the draft, gaining a receiver in trade or free agency as well. Then I would say tackle is probably need number 2. Obviously, cutting Billy Turner, there is a big need at right tackle. Who's going to start there? At the beginning of the year, is it going to be Josh Nijman? Is Elton Jenkins going to make a very quick recovery? We don't know. And then I think the third highest need would be defensive line. The Packers did just sign Jarran Reed, who was on Kansas City last year, and then Seattle to begin his career, so that will help. But I still think they need to draft a guy fairly early. And then, of course, the Packers could also use another edge rusher. They only have 2 true starters, so they definitely need another rotational edge guy to play some fill-in snaps and some pass rush snaps. And then also I think tight end is still a need. I think the Packers could definitely use a tight end probably the mid-rounds in this draft. And then safety is also a need that I think isn't talked about enough. Darnell Savage and Adrian Amos both are not signed past this year. The Packers did end up bringing back Devondre Campbell and Rasul Douglas, so their linebacker room, although they could add another linebacker, their cornerback room, I believe, is pretty much set. Now, they could add a guy in the 6th or 7th round for special teams reasons, but that's about it. All right, so let's waste no more time and bring up the draft screen and get this thing started. Now, with the draft capital the Packers have, they could theoretically trade into the top 10. In this case, since it's my first draft back after the Davante Adams trade, I'm going to try to keep it, kind of similar to the picks they have. Now, that's not saying that Gutekunst isn't going to trade in the first round, because he has, I think, every year, the past 4 years. So that's most likely going to happen, either him trading up a little bit or trading back a little bit. So if that's the case, I may do that if there's someone I really like, but I don't think I'm going to be trading into the top 10 in this mock draft. So I'm going to let the top 10 go here, unless someone's falls for no reason and I want to grab him, but that doesn't seem to happen a lot. Okay. So Evan Neal goes 1 to the Jags. He's usually Hutchinson, but I guess not this time. Hutchinson goes to the Lions, Aquino to the Texans, Hamilton to the Jets, Thibodeau to the Giants, Cross to the Panthers, Penning to the Giants, Trayvon Walker to the Falcons, Stingley to the Seahawks, and Sauce Gardner to the Jets. Malik Willis is still on the board. You would think the Commanders would take him. Jermaine Johnson, Jamison Williams, Garrett Wilson, Drake London. So one of these 3 receivers would be a potential trade up for. I think Jamison Williams, if he plays in 2022, which it seems like he might, should be the number 1 receiver off the board, and he'll probably go within the next couple of picks. So we'll see what happens. He goes right there to the Commanders at number 11. So let us go up to 15. Garrett Wilson comes off the board at 15. Jordan Davis at 14. Jermaine Johnson at 13. Andrew Booth at 12. So Drake London still sitting here. So this is a potential trade up situation. But if you go down the list here, we still have Chris Olave on the board, which I really like. I would love Chris Olave in green and gold. Jahan Dotson is an interesting prospect. I don't necessarily know if the Packers would have him on their board that high. But also Treylon Burks, not a bad idea. It's just he plays about 77% of his snaps out of the slot, which I think the Packers need to add, outside receiver early. So I'm going to go ahead and let this play out. Drake London's definitely an outside guy, 6'4", 219, vertical passing offense. So if he falls to 22, I think that's a no-brainer. I don't think he will. So we're going to have to see how exactly that goes. I might try to trade up if he falls a couple more. but I think he's going to go in the next couple. Yeah, he does go to the Saints. So I was about to do it, but I just didn't feel like it was necessary. So I'm going to let it go to our pick here. And okay, so it is our pick. Drake London obviously went to the Saints. Devontae Wyatt to the Chargers. Trent McDuffie to the Eagles. Linderbaum to the Steelers, excuse me. And Devin Lloyd to the Patriots. Malik Willis still here. Can you imagine? Packers were to draft Malik Willis here at 22. Chris Olave, it seems like a pretty spot-on pick right here at 22. I don't think I'm going to waste any time. I think I'm going to draft the first-round wide receiver for Aaron Rodgers in his career. Chris Olave is an athlete. Chris Olave, I think, could be a number 1, number 2 receiver in this offense day 1. And I think that's exactly what he would be. He's one of the best route runners, if not the best route runner in this class. He's a downfield threat, 6'1", 188. We saw his 40 time. I forget what that exact number was, but his early one was insane, and then obviously got corrected. I think it's still a 4.39 or 4.37, something of that sort, but still, he's fast. Again, the Packers have a drastic need at wide receiver, and Chris Olave fills that instantly. So with this pick at 22, I am going Chris Olave out of Ohio State. All right, so now it is our pick again here at 28. And there are a few guys on this board that intrigue me. Boye Mafe is one of them. The Packers do have a need at edge rusher, and Boye Mafe is a good edge rusher. But one that's here is David Ojabo, who just tore his Achilles, who was a certified, top 15 pick before that. I think he will fall to the second round. I think it would be a little bit of a reach to grab him here at 28. So I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I would take Boye Mafe because he just helps you instantly, whereas David Ojabo wouldn't. Perry and Winfrey's here. We still have Jaquan Brisker, Sky Moore if you wanted to go double up in receiver in the first round, Christian Watson, DeMarvin Leal. But Boye Mafe from Minnesota had an 81.2 PFF grade in 2021 in 13 games. He had 7 sacks, 9 hits, 26 hurries. I think he fits in Green Bay. 83.8 pass rush grade. His run defense 70.3. A 19.2 pass rush win rate. And a 90.3 true pass rush grade. I think this is a good pick here. Like I said, the Packers have a needed edge. I think they will draft an edge early. I say this every time. Starting edge rushers on the Green Bay Packers and most teams play about 65% of defensive total snaps. So you need rotational guys. They have Tipa Nalia, they have John Garvin, but adding someone like Boye Mafe would be a great pick for their second pick here in the first round. I think he will sneak into the first round, and the Packers most likely have him on their board. Now, they could go Ojabo. They really could here. This is something that the Packers definitely could do. But just for the sake of this draft and, helping us this year where the Packers seemingly are going all in again, I am going to go Boye Mafe out of Minnesota at pick 28. So for our first of our 2 second-round draft choices at 53 and then 59, we have a lot of talent on this board right here. We have DeMarvin Leal at the top. We have Jalen Petre. We have George Pickens, Trey McBride, Travis Jones. David Bell kind of has been falling. His athleticism and his RAS scores are pretty trash. Logan Hall is very interesting. Don't know if he really fits in the Packers defense, but is still there. So I'm going to have to look and see who I really want to go with here. All right, so with this pick, I am going to address safety early in the second round. Now, a lot of people may say safety is not as big of a need as offensive tackle and defensive line, and you'd probably be right. But Jalen Petre is an awesome player. This dude is an insane run defender. He could play free safety, strong safety, inside linebacker, outside linebacker. He is the epitome of the star role. Now, the Packers may end up playing Jair Alexander in the star role. They could use Darnell Savage in the star role, but Petre is someone you could put pretty much anywhere, and the Packers really do not have a third safety right now. So if they wanted to put Amos down or Savage down, they need another safety. They didn't bring back Henry Black. They have Vernon Scott, who really doesn't play at all. And if we look at his PFF profile here, an 88.6 grade in 2021, coverage grade of 78.7, a run defense grade of 92.7. I mean, this dude is a certified run defender. 2 interceptions last year. And overall, I mean, look at his snaps. He had 600 in the slot. He even had 19 at corner, 122 in the box, 153 even on defensive line. So this dude can really play anywhere. I really like him. Again, this is kind of a situation where it's just the best player available right now for the Packers. Obviously, they don't need Kenneth Walker. DeMarvin Leal is another guy they could draft here. There's a couple guys down here that I like for the Packers, like Travis Jones, who I might try to grab with 59, or see exactly how that goes. But Pitre is an awesome prospect, and I think he would fit wonderfully in the Green Bay defense. So with this pick, I am drafting Jalen Pitre out of Baylor. So here at pick 59, we still have DeMarvin Leal up at the top of the board, but I like Travis Jones better. I think he's graded. I think he's better than DeMarvin Leal and fits the Packers more. He'd fit right in as like a zero tech next to Kenny Clark. He had an 87.6 grade in 2021, 4 sacks, 7 hits, 14 hurries. He's a lot better of a run defender than Leal. Pass rush isn't, but he's a zero tech, so you want him to defend the run. That's exactly what you want him for. His run defense grade was 86.8. Pass rush win rate 11.5%. His true pass rush grade 90.9. His run stop rate 7.8%. I really like Travis Jones. I think he would be a steal here at 59. A really good pick here at 59. The Packers have still a need at defensive line, and Travis Jones could certainly help with that. So with this pick, I am going Travis Jones out of UConn at pick 59. So here we are at pick 92 in the 3rd round. I think it's finally time to address the offensive tackle need. Someone sitting right here at the top here in Abraham Lucas. I think I've drafted him in another mock before. He's bona fide right tackle, 6'7", 324 pounds. As we see here by his PFF profile, pretty much every snap in his college career at right tackle, had a 78.6 grade in 2021, allowed 0 sacks, 1 hit, and 8 hurries. He has a pass block grade of 91.0, a little bit of a lower run block grade at 68.3. But overall, I really like Abraham Lucas, and I think he will go before 92. I think he has more value than a 3rd round draft choice. I think he's anywhere or mid to late 2nd. So I think he would be a steal here in my opinion. And the Packers obviously have a need at right tackle. As we know, we don't really know who's going to be starting at right tackle week 1. With Billy Turner gone, is Josh Nijman going to kick out to the right? Can he do that? Are they going to slide Royce Newman to right tackle? I really doubt Elton Jenkins is going to be ready. Are they going to bring back someone like Dennis Kelly? We really don't know. And regardless, they're going to need depth there, even if they do sign someone like Dennis Kelly. And Abraham Lucas would be the future at right tackle if Elton Jenkins stays either at guard or even left tackle if, down the road, the Packers move on from Bakhtiari down the line. But Abraham Lucas here, pick 92, is a no-brainer for me, so that's what I'm going with. Abraham Lucas, right tackle out of Washington State. So the Jets are offering a trade here in round 4 at pick 117. They're asking for my 4th at 132, an additional 7th. I am going to accept that because I think I need to dip back into wide receiver, and Wan'Dale Robinson is right here at the top of the board. Very, very nice gadget player, slot. So he could be, slot receiver. Now, obviously, the Packers have Randall Cobb and Amari Rodgers, but Wan'Dale Robinson would be a great addition. The Packers need wide receivers regardless. In 2021, he had a 91.3 PFF grade, 104 receptions, 1,342 yards and 7 touchdowns. As we see, yes, he did take more slot snaps with 279, but he also had 108 out wide snaps, so he can do just about everything. He's a great wide receiver. As I said, the Packers just need more wide receivers. So I think this is a no-brainer here. Does he necessarily fit the Packers' size threshold at 5'11", 185? Not really. But regardless, he's a good wide receiver, and I think he would be a great addition to the Matt LaFleur offense. So with this pick at 117, I am drafting Wan'Dale Robinson, wide receiver out of Kentucky. So for here at pick 140 in round 4, we do have Matt Araiza here at punter, which is definitely intriguing. I don't know if I'd spend a 4th round pick on a punter. If he's there in the 5th, I probably would because he's really good. They did sign Pat O'Donnell, but I think he isn't a certified starter for 2022. so they could definitely draft someone or bring in someone else for competition. A couple other guys here. We do have John Ridgway out of Arkansas, but he's kind of another zero tech. We already got that with Travis Jones. Donovan West, who is a very versatile lineman, who the Packers love versatile linemen. Pretty much started at every position on the offensive line for Arizona State. But the guy I have my eyes on is Garrett Prince out of UAB, a former wide receiver turned tight end, a vertical tight end. He's 6'4.5", 239 pounds, has some decent speed. I think he's just a very versatile tight end that you could push vertically. And the Packers need that right now. They did re-sign Bob Tunyon, but when will he be ready and what kind of level will he be at? Garrett Prince could fill that role. Being that vertical tight end, I don't think DeGuara can. Obviously we know what Mercedes Lewis is. I don't think Daphne can. So we kind of need that, and it wouldn't be bad to have someone like Prince even when Bob Tunyon's healthy. So with this pick at 140, I'm going Garrett Prince, tight end out of UAB. So now we are at pick 171 in the 5th round, and Matt Araiza is still here. His nickname is the Punt God. He had a 77-yard punt in the combine. Just a few years ago at pick 172 in the 5th round, the Packers drafted J.K. Scott, who had nowhere near as much talent as Matt Araiza. The Packers need a punter. I know they signed Pat O'Donnell. I don't think he's the answer. He's been an average at best punter his entire career. I think this dude would change part of the Packers special teams in a big way. He can really flip the field. This dude has been amazing at San Diego State. And I know I'm going to get a decent amount of comments being like, you really drafted a punter in the 5th round, but I don't think some people understand how much a punter can give your team in terms of special teams and flipping the field. Field position is a gigantic aspect of football, and he can do kickoffs as well. So I'm doing it. I said if he's here in the 5th round, I'm going to do it, so I'm going to do it. At pick 171, I'm going Matt Araiza, punter out of San Diego State. I mean, there's only been one punt that's traveled more than 80 yards in the NFL since 2014, and Araiza did it twice last year in college. I mean, this dude, I just would love to see that in Green Bay, to have just an absolute beast of a punter and really just flip that field position and helping their special teams. So we didn't have any 6th round picks, and we only have one 7th round pick because I traded up, so I gave away one of those 7ths. And I think I'm going to go with a 3rd wide receiver. The Packers need wide receivers, and someone like Kevin Alston in the 7th round is a good shot to take, a low-risk, high-reward type of dude. 6'2", 200 pounds. He runs 4.43, 39-inch vertical, 11-foot broad jumps. I mean, this dude's just a physical, athletic beast. So, and if we look at his, where is it here? His PFF profile last year, 48 receptions, 888 yards, and 7 touchdowns. He's a good player for the set. Like if you were to get him in the 7th round, I'm happy with that. 319 snaps out wide, so he's an out wide receiver. We got Wandale for the slot. We got obviously Chris Olave for out wide. Let's get another out wide receiver to finish off this draft. So with our last pick at 249, I am going Kevin Alston Jr. out of Notre Dame. All right, so that does it for my Green Bay Packers 7-round mock draft version 5.0, or the first version after the Davante Adams trade. And I really like this draft in terms of need. But also, there's a couple times where I did draft, the best player available on the board in terms of what I think. So, with the Packers obviously having 2 first-round draft choices and 2 second-round draft choices, they have 4 picks in the top 60, and these picks are important. If they can nail on these picks, they're going to have a lot of talent on this team for this year. At pick 22, Chris Olave fell right into our laps. I think everyone would be happy with this pick. Chris Olave would probably be our number 1 wide receiver right off the bat, unless they trade for someone like Brandon Cooks or sign someone. But regardless, Chris Olave fits right into this offense. I really like Chris Olave. He's probably my favorite receiver this year in the draft, so getting him, I have no problem with that. At pick 28, I was kind of thinking, should I do David Ojabo? But he wouldn't really help us this year, and the Packers are going all in again. So I drafted Boye Mafe out of Minnesota, an edge rusher. The Packers need an edge rusher, 6'4", 265. And I like him a lot. I think he will slip into the first round. I do like Boye Mafe. And at pick 53, this is where I kind of went BPA, and I drafted Jalen Petre. He's just a very good defender. He just can do anything on your defense. He's probably a very good player for someone like Joe Barry, because you could put him anywhere you want. You could pass rush him at the edge if you wanted to. You could blitz him from nickel corner. You could throw him in the box to defend the run. He's a wonderful run defender at safety. The Packers need a third safety. He would be great. He could even play some special teams early on. And then at pick 59, Travis Jones. I think this is a really good steal here. One technique. He can also play some nose. Travis Jones, we need defensive linemen. Travis Jones is a great defensive lineman out of UConn. So getting him here at 59, I'm happy with that. Then we address offensive tackle at 92, and someone like Abraham Lucas, who would be, a right tackle day one if need be. 6'7", 324 pounds, is a great pass blocker. He's a better pass blocker than he is a run blocker, but overall he's a good tackle. He could be the future right tackle, or like I said, start there day one if we needed him to. At pick 117, we went Wan'Dale Robinson, another wide receiver, but more of a slot, shifty, gadget type guy in Wan'Dale Robinson. I really like him as well, and at 117, I think that's a great pick. The Packers need to draft 2 receivers anyways, so getting Olave and Robinson, I'd be extremely ecstatic about. At 140, we went with kind of a riser as of recent, and Garrett Prince, a wide receiver converted tight end, a vertical tight end, 6'4.5", 239 pounds. The Packers need a vertical tight end. They did, as I said, bring back Bob Tunyon, but torn ACL. We'll see how that works. And having multiple of those guys can't hurt you. So Garrett Prince here at 140, and then at 171, a little bit of controversy here, but I think if you're gonna spend a 5th round pick on a punter or a kicker, Matt Araiza is that guy. He is definitely that guy. I mean, we're not talking 2nd round Robert Aguayo like crazy here. Like, we're not. Matt Araiza, or the punt god they call him, has that name for a reason. He's had multiple 80-yard punts last year. He had a 77-yard punt in the combine. I mean, this dude is an absolute cannon from the punter position, and I think you would instantly up that Packers special teams unit because they're trash. So Matt Araiza would help a ton. And then with our last pick, we did have 2 7th round picks, but traded one of them, I think, to trade up for Wan'Dale Robinson. We did get a 3rd wide receiver in Kevin Austin. Kind of a guy that could be a complete steal if he puts it all together. He has all the athletic tools, 6'2", 200 pounds, runs a 4.43, 39-inch vertical, 11-foot broad jump, an outside receiver, a guy that you develop and you hope he turns into something. And it's low risk, high reward here in the 7th round. So that's why I drafted him as my last pick at 249. But that does it for this mock draft. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Do you like these picks? Is there someone else that was on the board when I was drafting and you're like, damn, I really like them? I'm sure that happens every time. But hey, that's what mock drafts are for. We're all here just seeing what can happen with the Green Bay Packers, because this is going to be a very, very interesting draft. Probably one of the most interesting drafts in my recent memory for the Green Bay Packers, just based off of how much value they have with draft picks. They can do so much things. They can trade up into the top 15 if they wanted to. They could move around all they want. They have ton of value there in the first 60 picks. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they do with all that. But like I said, leave your thoughts down in the comments below. I'll catch you all next week. Obviously, every Thursday I do a mock draft, so make sure to check out version 6.0 next week. And then also for everything Packers news, analysis, and updates, I do have it here on this channel. I upload almost daily, so make sure to click the subscribe button if you haven't already. But that about does it. I'll catch you on the next one, and as always, go Pack Go.